Hello everyone, it's your host, San Kani, here. Today is July 26th, a super sunny Saturday. I'm so excited because today, I'm going to introduce a really cool training article from an archive. Let's dive right in. The title of the paper is Audio Vision Contrastive Learning for Phonological Class Recognition, and you can find it at this URL at school/slash/abs/250/17,682. Well, it's a long one. So, let's get into it. Have you ever wondered exactly how we make all the different sounds when we talk? Like how little tiny lips and even our throat work together. It's super complex, right? Well, understanding this is really important, especially for helping people with speech problems, like after an illness or surgery. That's the big problem this paper is trying to solve. You see, doctors and researchers can use tools like MRI to literally watch a video of someone's mouth and tongue moving as they speak. It's like having X-ray vision for speech. But just watching a video isn't always enough. Sometimes, very different sounds can look surprisingly similar on MRI. On the other hand, just listening to the audio has its own issues. You might not be able to pinpoint exactly what part of the mouth isn't moving correctly. So, the researchers were like, what if we combine them? What if we teach a computer to understand speech by both watching the MRI video and listening to the audio at the same time? And that's their amazing idea. They built a super smart AI framework using something called multimodal deep learning. Multimodal just means it uses multiple types of data, in this case, video and audio. They used a special technique called contrastive learning. Okay, so this part is super cool. Imagine we're showing the kid flashcards. You show a picture of a cat and say the word met. The kid learns to connect that specific image with that specific sound. That's kind of what contrastive learning does here. The AI is trained with pairs of MRI, video frames, and the matching audio clip. It learns that this mouth shape in the MRI goes with this sound from the audio, and it also learns that a different mouth shape doesn't match that sound. By comparing tons and tons of these pairs, the AI gets incredibly good at understanding the relationship between mouth movements and sounds. During the final test, it can figure out how a sound is made just by looking at the MRI video. The goal was to classify sounds into three main groups. First is the manner of articulation, which is about how you control the air, like making a stopping sound like a P or a T. Second is the place of articulation, which is where in your mouth you make the sound, like using your lips for a B sound or the back of your tongue for a K sound. And third is voicing, which is whether your vocal cords vibrate or not, like the difference between an S sound and a Z sound. So, how well did it work? You guys, it was a huge success. Their contrastive learning model achieved the average score called Informed Score of 0.81. To put that in perspective, this was a massive 23% improvement over models that only used video or only use audio. That's right, it proves that combining video and audio and teaching the AI to connect them is way more effective. Okay, so you might be thinking, this is cool science, Ani, but how does it apply to my life? Well, let me give you some awesome examples. First, and this is the big one, is for clinical use in speech therapy. Imagine a patient who is recovering from tongue cancer or a stroke. They're having trouble speaking clearly. A therapist could use the system to get a super detailed analysis of the patient's speech. The AI could pinpoint exactly what's going wrong. The back of the tongue isn't rising enough for the K sound. This allows for incredibly personalized and effective rehabilitation plans. It's like giving speech therapists a superpower. Second, let's think about interactive learning, especially for learning the new language. You know those apps that try to teach you pronunciation? They're okay, but this tech could take them to a whole new level. And look at this AI could not only tell you the direct pronunciation of a French nar, pays off. It could show you an animated diagram of a mouth and guide you on how to position your tongue correctly based on its analysis of your voice. It would be like having a personal language tutor available 24/7. And though for all you gamers and movie lovers out there, think of that Verandar. To create truly realistic digital avatars, their speech needs to look real. This technology can be used to animate an avatar's mouth, tongue, and jaw movements, so they perfectly match the dialogue. This would make virtual characters in games or virtual meetings in our feel so much more lifelike. We could also revolutionize movie dubbing, making the lip sync for different languages absolutely flawless. What's really mind-blowing is that the system can eventually work with just the MRI video without needing the sound. This opens the door to silent speech interfaces where someone could just move their mouth, and a computer could translate those movements into text or speech. This could be life-changing for people who have lost their ability to speak. Of course, the paper is honest about its limits. The model sometimes gets confused between sounds that are very similar to movements, like T and K, and it needs more data for really rare sounds. But, that just means there's more exciting research to come. So to wrap it all up, this paper is amazing because it shows how, by cleverly combining different kinds of information like video and sound, we can create an AI that understands a deeply human process like speech in a whole new way. It's a fantastic step forward for technology that can truly help people. That's all the time we have for today. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope you found that as fascinating as I did. This is your host, Sainoani, signing off. Catch you next time.